If you're not planning your day, then somebody is going to plan your day for you. Welcome to Parking Lot Philosophy, the only show that's filmed in purgatory. Um, I've been lately really busy at work. It's something that kind of always happens this time of year. The spring semester is really busy in higher ed for some reason. And then you add on that it's about to be summer. So all the faculty are about to leave. So it makes it tougher on us staff members. I feel like there's a lot to happen right at the end of the spring semester, plus graduation and things. Our students are leaving. It's one of those things where I notice it when it's happening, but then I don't think about it for the rest of the year. But I really want to kind of take back my time. I have a lot of meetings right now, a lot of planning is going on. And the only times where I'm getting a lot of really productive work done is in the mornings and evenings. When I first get into work, when I'm just leaving or like just about to leave work, I'm getting really solid work done in those hours. It's just all the other hours, constant distractions of people, coming in, having a chat with me. We have a meeting set up, things like that. I'm getting meetings scheduled onto me. And these are things that, just happen in any industry. But I've really been trying to take to heart the idea that if I'm not planning for what my day looks like, which oftentimes I do not plan what my day will look like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, no wonder it feels like I'm not being very productive because I'm bouncing from one task to another to another. And so it's one of those things I've been trying to really build an actual schedule and start to do these things. And another thing too, and this is like not applied based on the same principles, but I've also been trying to kind of forgive myself for wasted time. This is something that I was thinking about. A lot of times what'll happen, let's say on like a less productive day, which for me a lot of times feels like Tuesdays. I don't know what it is about a Tuesday. I think it's because it's like a weird part of my week. But a lot of times what will happen is I'll be bouncing around through so many tasks that then by lunchtime I've barely touched anything. I mean, I'll have done, 5% of one project I've been working on. I'll have like a meeting or a chat with someone. I'll like, bump into some people in the hallway and have like conversations with them. All these different things that kind of are technically productive. However, they're not like productive in the way that I want to be, especially, early into my week. Oh, sorry, I bumped the mic. But early in my week, I want to be more productive. And it's one of those things where come lunchtime, I'm looking at the clock and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to eat lunch at my desk because I want to get things done. But at the same time, too, it's like, okay, we went halfway through the day is wasted. But I've been trying to kind of, think with myself. It's like, no, the day's not wasted. The day is not wasted whatsoever. Just because it's lunchtime does not mean that the day's over. It means it's the after lunchtime has started. Like, I don't know why it's so hard in my head for me to fathom the concept of it. It's just clocking in a second time. It's just the same thing as like starting the day over again. Instead, it's I have 2 days in a day, And it's one of those things that I've really been trying to kind of train out is like the time that I think is wasted is not actually a waste because I'm pre-wasting the time. And then on the flip side, what I want to talk about with Indistractable, people will plan things for you if you don't have a plan. And this isn't just like people in your office, see your calendars open, hey, let's schedule a meeting. Someone sees you like walking in the hall and they're like, do you have a second? Which I do think that is valuable, or I think that is valuable to like try and negate those things. I will say for a long time, I was very much a person who would accept every single meeting. Someone who would say like, yeah, let's go ahead, let's meet about this. And I've started to realize so much of this just needs to be an email. And sometimes too, it's like the people you want to talk to the most, who are the most fun in meetings, you're not really having a productive meeting. You're just chatting with the person. So just go chat with the person. But that being said, I am talking about people planning things for you as in companies, organizations. which I assume that's partially what the author means when they say someone will plan things for you. But like, I think YouTube is a great example. YouTube has complete control over my schedule, especially what I'm talking about is my personal life schedule. That's the main service I watch when I go home to relax. I watch YouTube. I watch Northern Lion, and I really enjoy it. And it's one of those things where they are planning what my day will look like by serving me that content. And the same thing goes for all social media platforms, and even for like a lot of websites and things like that. They want you to stay on the platform as long as possible, so they're going to plan for you by doing that. And so I think that's one of those things I'm trying to like reflect on this and recognize that my time is my own. Sorry again. My time is my own. And so it's one of those things I need to start planning. So I have all these projects that I'm always wanting to do. I think that's pretty common for a lot of people my age. You're starting life. You want to work on a lot of different things. And for me personally, it's one of those things like I really want to do more media stuff. I want to do more marketing things. And so I have these plans in my head. I write them down in a list. I start either working on them, or for like marketing and advertising stuff, a lot of it's like campaign driven. So I'll like research the like market and the audience and like what I might want the goals to be. But then that's usually about as far as I get, because what starts to happen is I start to get distracted. However, I never actually planned anything to happen. So it's not like I'm saying every day at 5 p.m. I am going to work on this, or every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm going to work on this. I don't have anything like that. And so when I make YouTube videos and things, it's very much spur of the moment motivation. And I'm getting planned, things are getting planned for me. And I love video games. I'm a big gamer. I think it's one of those things. Video games are the same way. They're a form of entertainment. They want your time. And in a huge way, video games do indeed plan what my weekends look like, because I'll tend to play a lot of games. And it's one of those things. It's not necessarily like an adult thought. I think it's just like a reflective thought, but it's one of those things where I'm recognizing how much time I'm wasting on things that sometimes I don't enjoy. Especially if I play like competitive games, it's something I don't enjoy. So I am planning something that I don't enjoy, and that also makes me feel bad for not being productive. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this. I think it's one of those like reflective thoughts everyone kind of has. I'm really trying to kind of change that and try and really manifest being indistractable. I think it does work to an extent. I was going to kind of wrap up, but that actually led me to another point. And I do have an actual visual aid for it if it's not too dang bright. But you can kind of see, like over here, is it an Eisenhower matrix? I think that's what they're called. Yeah, Eisenhower matrix. God, the like light level in here is crazy now. Eisenhower matrices, I think, are really great as well. If you don't know what they are, you have a grid of 4. You have urgent, not urgent, important, not important. And so anything in category 4 or in quadrant 4, you should never do, because it's not important, it's not urgent. Anything that is important and urgent, those are like reactionary tasks that you need to get done because they're happening right now. And then urgent and not important, those are usually tasks that are also very reactionary. Usually it's like, they're not a huge deal, but yeah, I've got to go get to them, emails, things like that. But the section you want to be in is the important but not urgent, the really heavy planning area. And I think with the talking about like planning for you, like you making a plan, not someone else planning for you, I think it's that same thing, because so many times I am a person who has to go help someone else put out a fire. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I enjoy to help other people. It's I'm a support main. I'm a support staff member. I like to do these things, help people. But that being said, I think talking about being indistractable, talking about making time for myself, talking about planning effectively and efficiently, this is such an important part of it. Recognizing that, not wanting to be in these reactionary columns, not wanting to be in this column where I'm completely wasting, but being in this section where I am planning for myself and something that I think will be productive at the end of the day, something that'll bring value to me. So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now, trying to kind of foster this more productive planning style for me. I'll continue to keep you posted on things like this, but just something I'm thinking about today. Bye for now.